Hi, beautiful. Today we're talking about social media. Well, actually, we're going to talk about what you can do other than being on social media. This topic comes up quite a bit with practitioners who perhaps have already been on social media and have decided they don't want to anymore, or have just avoided, don't want to be on there at all, and are curious about whether or not you can actually have a thriving practice and a business without being on social media, especially in today's world. Now, I'm going to take you through some different tactics and tools that you can use to get away from social media if you're not on there or don't want to be on there. Um, the first thing that I will say is, if this is you and you're feeling resistance to social media, the first thing that you want to do is really identify like what that is about. Because if it's just about social media, that's one thing. But if in fact you just have this real resistance to being seen or a real resistance to sharing your offerings, your services, your story, like who you are and what you're here to help with, if you have resistance to having a business in general, that those same patterns and limiting beliefs, those fears, like all of that's going to pop up for you, whether you're on social media or not. So I think it's really important that you work through that stuff first, to ensure that it's not going to pop up no matter where or how you're trying to share your service offerings. Um, let's go back to that for a moment. The idea of sharing your service offerings. Now, essentially, that's what being on social media is about, right? It's about building trust and rapport with potential clients and current clients as well. It's about sharing, what you're here to do, your light, your gifts. Like it's about sharing, if you want to, it's about sharing your story as well and connecting with others. There's so many benefits to it and so many advantages. Like it doesn't all have to be doom and gloomy. It can actually have some real benefits to it and can be really, really beautiful way to connect with others. Um, You don't have to use it though as the only platform. It has a lot of benefits in that it's free, like it's really and a global reach. Like there's lots of benefits to having social media, but it's also there's also lots of disadvantages. It's also not always the best way to promote on there as well, to your clients. So if you are having resistance and you feel like, no, this isn't about me wanting to share, my services or my business or anything like that. It's really just, I just don't like social media. It gives me the ick or it just, yeah, it's not aligned, maybe with even your business or who you want to be or where you want to be. Um, so here are some other things that you can do. Let's get into it. All right. So firstly, um, I'm going to say that you can utilize community, like your actual community that you live in, so or the area that you work in. So, for example, if your clinic space is in a specific area and that's where you want to see clients from, then absolutely like start to reach out into that physical community as well. So, ways that you can do that are things like networking. So, actually building partnerships or relationships with people in that community as well. So, let's say there is a yoga studio nearby, or maybe like a holistic practitioner that is also really aligned with you. Maybe it's a women's community, a women's business, or something like that. If you're seeing women, or if you're seeing children, maybe it's a children's kind of center. That anything that's really going to align with who your business is also talking to, who your business is serving, what your business stands for, like its values. Make sure that whoever you're collaborating with or working with or partnering with is also really aligned with you as well. And I guess, what you stand for. So really thinking about that. Um, another idea might be if there are local markets, like holistic markets, or even if you are making certain products as well, you might see that as an opportunity to sell some things there. You could also just be at a market as a stall holder, just to share your brand with them and to share your service offering. So even if it's service-based, maybe you'll do some mini healings, for example, or maybe you're just there to talk to potential clients who might be interested. So, let's say you offer sort of some sort of therapy, or you're offering, treatments and things like that. They might just even want to be there to hear what you have to say and what you're about, and just to connect with you, and also to build up a bit of a relationship with you, to meet you and see what you're all about, and whether or not they feel a connection with you, like they could actually come and book in with you and to see you. Another thing you can do at a market, or at an like in your local community, is also, as well as just meeting with people, you can also capture like email addresses or phone numbers, things, people's details that you can keep on file, so that, for example, maybe you want to have a newsletter later on down the track, or maybe you want to share with them some offerings, or a promotion, or something like that. Or maybe you want to run a competition and they could enter into that as well. So you can capture their information as well. That might be another thing that you can do, and a way to contact them too. You can also have an event, so live events. You could create it yourself, or you can collaborate with others, or you can be part of another person's event as well. Again, thinking about, does that organizer also align with me? Do the other speakers or the other people who are in the event, do they also align with who my brand is, or who I am, and what I stand for? And if that's a yes, then it's a brilliant way to be part of that. You might not have to speak or run a workshop or something like that. You also might just want to be part of like the goodie bags, for example. Let's say, at a lot of events like this, it's a great chance just to have a flyer in there, or a business card, or maybe come up with a little product that you could pop in there as a sample of who you are. Often I would always drop in little crystals, or, and write little notes, or have a business card attached, things like that. You also might want to reach out to not just other shops in your area, but you might want to also reach out to publications, whether they be online or also physical publications. So it could be like a local magazine or a newspaper, the local news, for example, or online blog sites, articles, magazines, people that post up maybe a Substack or something like that, where you can actually, again, you could collaborate with them, or you could submit an article too. You could also just ask someone to link back to your website, or to add in a bit of a line maybe about what you do and link back to your website. Backlinks, which is what they're called, are really, really great for traffic for your website. So yeah, it might be another way to collaborate as well, is through articles. Yeah, and also utilizing people who are on social media and getting them to maybe share about who you are, and maybe not linking, to a social media account, but it might just link to your website, for example, or to an email address or something like that too, or your clinic space if you're working out of a clinic space. So those are some little ideas so far in terms of how you can collaborate as well. Let's talk about a couple of other things while we're on the topic of websites. So, and linking to that, you would probably, it would make a lot of sense for you to also invest in SEO, so search engine optimization, if your website is going to be like the main way that your clients or potential clients are going to view like your front of office, right? Which is essentially what a website acts as. It's like your reception. It's like your office space, your shop front. And if you're not on Instagram or, TikTok or YouTube or Facebook or, other sort of social media sites, your website's going to play an even bigger role for you to make that really big first impression. So thinking about how you can optimize your SEO, and it might even be worth doing some courses. There's so much free information available about that and how to optimize it. But you also, you could start a blog to help with SEO as well, for example. Or yes, of course, like collaborating, as I mentioned, with others so that you're linking to your website too to increase traffic, and SEO. The other thing as well is to really think about how you can utilize word of mouth, because this is another great way that people are going to hear about you if you're not on social media. So getting your current clients, giving them incentives to talk about you perhaps might be an option, offering them discounts if they recommend you, things like that. Also offering opportunities for them to share testimonials with you, so that also increases, for example, on your Google business site or on your website as well. There's lots more testimonials on there, and people can really see and help build up that trust and rapport and your credibility as well. Like they can really see, oh, okay, this is what people are saying about her, about him, about their business as well and their service offerings. So that is a few things in terms of being online as well. Coming back to physical stuff, so in-person kind of stuff, I mentioned earlier about also having like business cards or flyers when you're at events, and part of maybe a goodie bag or a promotional bag or something like that. But also just dropping off your flyers and business cards around, or offering free resources as well. So, let's say, for example, there's a yoga studio that you want to partner with. You could drop in, maybe you could make little flyers or booklets. Maybe it's like an article that you write, how yoga and Reiki work really well together or something like that, or 10 tips to, help with your Reiki practice after yoga, or whatever it might be. What are the 10 best crystals to bring to a yoga class? Like, just thinking about things that might align with the type of people who are coming to that class, and they might want to pick up your flyer or your resources. Of course, you can put free resources on your website too, but these are also takeaways, like things people can tangibly keep with them. And I really, and even doing drop-offs, like letter drop-offs, I know that people don't like that always. And so, sometimes you'll get them having on their post box, on their on their letterbox at home, it actually says like no junk mail or something like that. But there's a lot of people who also don't have those notices and don't mind receiving some promotional material, or even local shops and that sort of thing. And if they do, you can drop off that letter, and it might be something that they're aligned to, or it might be something they also pass on to a friend of theirs as well. A lot of shops also let you put up a flyer, right? Like on a notice board or community notice board. Look at the local library as well. Sometimes they have, or local community centers too. Also look at running an event at a place like a library or a local community center that it already has people, like they already has traffic going in there. Because usually these are types of people who are maybe looking for other events that are happening in that space as well. So that could be another option. And lastly, I also wanted to say, it can be really great idea to offer kind of affiliate programs as well. So let's say, for example, a bit of a referral. So like if you're partnering with someone, and we talked about partnering earlier, but this could take it to that next level. So actually coming up with an incentive, like if you go to the yoga studio down the road, or if you go for a facial at, that particular clinic, or maybe you are going to this organic shop over there, then you get, a free session with me, or you get, half price in the month, in the month of March, or something like that. Or maybe they get a free gift with the treatment or something. So offering incentives and affiliate programs like cross promotion, those sorts of things can really help as well. So really utilizing your community that's around you, utilizing others that you know who are on social media, who have events going, who have who have shops or physical stores as well, bricks and mortar stores, who are already active in the community or established in the community. Even other practitioners, they don't have to be different to what you're doing. You can also collaborate with other Reiki or crystal healers, or, coaches and things like that. Sometimes, it's so beautiful collaborating, because you also, you all bring something different and unique. And usually, when we bring that together, there's even more of an abundance of what's available for us. So really remembering that you have so many choices out there. It does not just stop with social media. I know that building connection, trust, rapport, building up relationships is so, so important. It doesn't have to feel grimy or yucky or like salesy, or, it doesn't have to be like that. Remember that it's about really sharing with others who you want to help and why you want to help, and sharing your light and your love with other people. That's what this is really about, you being of service. And if you stay hidden, no one's going to know that you exist or that you're here for them. And I promise you, there are so many people out there waiting for you just to step up into your power and to just own that this is who you are, what you want to do, and that you have so much light to share with others. So I hope this has helped you. And, maybe it's just a stepping stone, and maybe after doing a little bit more of this sort of stuff, you might then feel ready to jump online. But also, if you just don't want to, don't ever feel like you have to. I promise you, there's so many other ways that you can build up your business, and these people will find you. They will totally find you. They're just waiting for you. Bye.